This video is not clickbait. The GPU shortage is back. Scalpers are back. This time, it's at a different angle, much different than you would expect, but it's going to affect PC gamers just as bad, if not worse. Let me tell you what's going on. This is pretty big news. Nvidia stock yesterday went up 30% after hours because even though their gaming revenue is not that impressive, it's true. People are not buying gaming GPUs. So you may be scratching your head. You're like, what's he talking about? GPU shortage is back? Scalpers are back? Well, look at what else Nvidia announced. They announced some groundbreaking AI sort of, future developments and the path of where their company is going, and everybody went absolutely wild. Gaming GPU market is so diverse. It's not only gaming GPUs, but everything else that Nvidia does. That's why I like to point to a really well-rounded conversation around GPUs. That's why you should definitely subscribe, because I specialize in this, and other bigger YouTubers, sometimes they just focus on some of the performance of the GPUs and they move on to the next shiny thing. So even though the gaming sector, the gaming GPUs, not really doing too great. I mean, look at all the recent releases like 4060 Ti. Nobody's buying them. That release is pretty much a huge failure. I even saw this article today that said there was like one person in line to buy that GPU, and somebody even joked it's probably a reviewer or something like that. All of the GPUs have not been selling well. Nvidia seems to be selling like 38% less GPUs, but at the end of the day, it doesn't seem to matter because AI is a massive, massive part of their business. Do you know what it means when Nvidia stock goes up 30% in one day? It's literally one of the biggest single day increases in history. It's pretty much only close to Apple. I think that's the only other company that ever did it. Not only that, now Nvidia is almost $1 trillion company. There are only a few companies that are in that group. Apple, Amazon, these are the biggest companies in the world, and Nvidia absolutely dwarfs all of their competitors. You can put Intel together with AMD, with TSMC, and they're all going to be not even half of what Nvidia is. So even this Intel Arc, Nvidia probably thinks it's cute that they're trying to compete, but it's going to be crushed. Even AMD, they can try as much as they want. These two guys, they're not even worth anywhere a fraction of what Nvidia is worth. And that means that they're going to have a whole lot of money to throw around, and that means they're going to be able to buy different companies, invest in AI. All of the other companies like Intel was down like 10%. That's because they're not tied as heavily to Nvidia with AI. So how does this relate to gamers? I say that the GPU shortage is back. Well, first of all, Nvidia can't even keep up with demand of the AI GPUs. Yes, gaming GPUs are abundantly available. That's why Nvidia, and now you know the connection, they're keeping those prices high and they're not really lowering them as much as we would think would be fair because they don't have to. They're making so much money between their AI sales as well as the valuation of their company that the gaming market, as long as they keep the GPUs at a certain level, they can sell less and it'll be okay. Proof in point, I took a look at my local micro center, 4060 Ti's. First of all, they didn't really sell at all, and they didn't have as much inventory as it seemed like they had for even the 4070 or the other GPUs. So I think Nvidia and the distributors know that they're not going to sell that many of these. On the other end of the coin, Nvidia can barely keep up with producing these big AI GPUs, and the scalpers are even back because they're so hard to find. Some of these GPUs are like 30,000 plus. We're not talking about consumer grade GPUs. And just like with the gaming GPU scalper market, people are buying these GPUs when they can get them at retail, and they're selling them for significant markups. A lot of them are going for like over $40,000. So in a section of the GPU market, scalpers are more alive than ever. They just now changed their view towards something much more expensive and much more select, but those GPUs are selling in pretty big numbers. Nvidia sells to Microsoft and to massive companies. So that means that it makes a lot of sense now, even after seeing what happened with Nvidia stock yesterday, that they're going to want to focus all of their potential on this AI thing because they want to ride that wave. That means that they're not going to care if you don't want to buy their 4060 Ti. Their 4060 Ti is going to be really, really almost inconsequential, like a little rounding error compared to the amount of money and resources they can put towards AI and generate with that. That means that they're probably going to keep giving giving us weaker GPUs for, still high prices, so they can maintain that sort of image of having, high-end products to all their investors. And they're going to focus all of the best technology that they have on AI. That means that in the future, this is going to really, really affect gamers. Not only are we not going to see much cheaper GPUs than a certain level, we see Intel and AMD trying to fight it out and trying to really, gain some market share, even though people are really mad at Nvidia for how they're treating consumers. At the end of the day, they flat out don't care, and having this much going up in AI and with their stock, they have, at least from their viewpoint, reason to think that it doesn't really matter what they do on the gaming side, as long as they kind of keep that afloat without, upsetting investors too much. Investors are going to overlook any downfall in the gaming sector, and they're going to completely focus on the massive gains. No other company has ever given anybody like 30% in a day, especially the size of Nvidia. So this is something that's going to set them apart. And unfortunately, now they can do with the gaming market whatever they want to do. And I think for gamers like RTX 5000, for example, I doubt we're going to see nearly as good gains as we've seen with RTX 4000. Nvidia probably is going to keep pushing their technology side instead of the hardware. And it's even possible in the future, let's say a 5090, the hardware in it could even be less impressive than what we saw on the 4090, but Nvidia may try to upsell like DLSS 4 or even some of those neural textures or other type of AI software that makes it seem like the 5090 performs better than a 4090. But maybe the days of traditional rasterization and that brute force performance, those days seem to be at least behind us. If Moore's law is dead or not, that's something that Nvidia said, that Moore's law was dead. If you agree with it or not, that's the line that they're taking and how they're approaching their products, as evident by every release in RTX 4000 after the 4090. Look at the 4060 Ti. The specs are basically what a 4050 should be. The memory bus is less than a 3060 Ti, and the only thing that it has going for it is that it has like DLSS 3 and those things that Nvidia pushes, which gamers are admittedly not very happy with, because it seems like you're getting an inferior product and it's only being replaced by the software side, which sometimes it's beneficial if you like DLSS 3 in the game. But what if your game doesn't support it? Then you're left with a GPU like the 4060 Ti with only 8 gigabytes of VRAM that gets outperformed by guys like this 6700 XT with 10 gigabytes of VRAM. And not even to mention the 3060 Ti sometimes comes way too close to the 4060 Ti for a generational difference like that. So that's what we're going to keep seeing more and more of. That's why Nvidia, with the GPU shortage that's going on now, and that's happening, they can't keep up probably until the end of the year with the AI GPUs. And if that keeps, going even further, we're going to see that even worsen, and they're going to take their eye off of the gaming market, much like they discarded the crypto mining market when that was done. They said it was a waste of time. It's very possible in the future, Nvidia could say gaming GPUs are a waste of time and resources. Let's focus everything on AI, and then we're going to be left with whoever wants to make some gaming GPUs. Maybe Intel. Maybe Intel might be out of the game by then. Their company's doing really terrible. Who knows if they're going to be able to keep up with, they used to be a massive company, but now they may not be able to keep up with the competition from Nvidia because they're getting outclassed left and right for years now. And then AMD, while having some competitive products, they are not on the level of Nvidia. Their company's not polished at all when it comes to a lot of these releases. As you saw with the release of the 7600, a lot of reviewers said that AMD basically changed a lot of the pricing, the information right at the last minute. There wasn't that much communication. Their marketing has been a little bit lackluster. So if you like Nvidia, if you like AMD, we're definitely in very tough times for GPUs. And it seems like while we were focused on the gaming market, the GPU shortage and scalpers and high GPU prices were still going on with AI, even though it has nothing to do directly with your gaming GPU. In a way, it has everything to do with it because Nvidia makes both. And if Nvidia thinks that market is better, they're going to focus attention there. And guess what? It's going to come back to the detriment of gamers everywhere. And next generation, we may see some really bizarre and bad products. So I don't think we've seen the worst of it yet. This is probably just the beginning of bad consumer practices and really bad products for really high prices. All right, guys, let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you think that Nvidia's company just getting so massive with AI now it's very much in the public eye, do you think that may destroy the gaming GPU market? Remember to subscribe, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next video.